Apparently. No warning that we were going live either.
I think they're used to it by now. Do you know what I mean? Still want the quality a little bit better than that. But
Oh, come on, man, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Right, what's going on? You alright?
yeah, do you know what? Now I'm not alright because I'm fucking bored to death. Was that in the first 30 seconds?
That's been demonetised this week.
Do you know what I mean? To be fair, maybe my pronunciation wasn't loud enough. Maybe we might get away with it. But there's no sound, so we'll definitely get away with it.
They've got sound now, don't worry about it. Go on, carry on.
Alright, no, because I'm bored to death, so...
International break's dead, innit?
I hate international break more.
Have you watched any of the internationals?
I watched, you know what I did? Lee Carsley put this absolute ultimate team FIFA lineup against Greece. So that intrigued me.
And lost.
So I thought, you know what? Let me go watch it. And it was a car crash. It showed to everyone that just throwing all your best players on the pitch with no balance, no organisation doesn't work. Nah, it's all England's best players, to be honest. Apart from minus Rashford. Because Anthony Gordon weren't that great, so I think that kind of raised a few eyebrows. But to be fair, I've always been on the side of thinking Anthony Gordon's probably performed better over the last 12 months. That's probably why he's got away with it. But in terms of like top end talent, I wouldn't.
But he didn't even start him, did he?
No, I did. It was Jude Bellingham false 9. And then it was like a midfield trio of. Then it was Saka right wing, and then the midfield was Foden, Palmer, and Declan Rice.
Can't see the balance of
And
that.
then the back four was Colwill, Stones, Trent, and then who's left back? I actually can't remember.
And then he played Trent left back against, was it Finland?
Yeah, but it just didn't work. It was like almost too fluid to the point where every time that Greece got the ball and played out, they looked dangerous. But the thing is, I think every single team that I see play against England looks technically tidier, and I don't know why that is.
Yeah, because you take those players into every club team that they're in. I know it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Anyway, but
Didn't watch a minute.
Alright, PJ Trojan says, wash your mouth out, Ronaldo. Yeah, I'll remember that in future. Steve's probably gonna... Well, you're gonna give me the axe for that, innit? Demonetising the video.
Zokar says, you know it's international break when it's a slow news week and they're blowing this Fergie stuff massively out of proportion. Yep, they are.
Because, yeah, we was going to talk about that, but really, does it matter?
Well, I've just ended up doing a video with Joe about it, and my general vibe is... I'll say it again here. That's a lot of money for someone who doesn't really work for us. If he's getting paid more than Kobe Mainoo, can't justify it.
I think people saying that he's getting more than Amad Diallo.
Yeah, listen, everything he's done for the club, cool, and he's been handsomely rewarded for it, and he's just been paid 25 million for the last 11 years. So, well done.
Is it basically? Is it a posh pension?
Also, at the end of the day, what is he? 82.
Yeah.
Right? Can the guy not retire?
I did want to say this. I think it's basically a pension in a way. In a
maybe it has been a bit.
Do you know what I mean? But I also. Not to be, he's not like he's got super long left as well. Do you know what I mean?
With poor health, that's had issues in his family, issues with himself. Let him fucking retire for fuck's sake. And yeah, you're right. People are blowing it all completely out of proportion because there's nothing else to talk about. It's dead. Like we're talking about fucking Tuchel going to England. What's my honest opinion? Couldn't give a fuck.
No. It's
I know it's
United link.
United.
There's a United link. It's whether people think now. Ratcliffe and Ineos' first possible choice or first is now unavailable because he's taken the England job, and what that might mean for Ten Hag, whether it makes him safer, whether it gives him some sort of reprieve, and it probably does. But by all accounts, I think Ineos are not in a rush to sack Ten Hag. They never were. I think their intention was to give him at least the whole season, but what they didn't anticipate was him fucking up so badly this quickly, this early. Yeah, I think that's what he weren't prepared for.
I think it'll still be on the cards. Like we could stink the gaff out from now till Christmas, and he'll probably end up going if he does. But I look at our next few games without a defence, without any strikers that are scoring any goals, and I don't see how it gets any better.
Do you know what? Everyone's looking towards the Chelsea game. People were talking about the Fenerbahce game, and out of the next 6 games, the one that I'm the most worried about is Brentford at home.
Saturday.
At Saturday. Brentford have been a very dangerous side this season. They've got the injuries of their own. I think they've lost Wissa until Christmas. I think he's he's like their starting striker with the 1-2 punch with Mbeumo. But I don't know. I think the way that we're performing and playing, Thomas Frank kind of giving himself a little subtle
with him probably being
application
in the
for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might come trying to flex
Could
a little
be
bit.
Absolute shagging.
I just think a manager who's as good as Thomas Frank, who also is, when we've beaten Brentford in the past couple of seasons, he's been very bitter in his press conferences.
Oh, has he? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
was it back to the COVID season that he absolutely lost his mind?
Yeah, he did.
Was that
it was? So I think he's going to have that a little bit element of it. I just think someone like, but he's a good gaffer.
He is a good gaffer, but I wonder where his ceiling is, because I touched on this with Joe earlier as well. Like, to be Manchester United manager, right, you got to have all 8 slices of your pizza. You've got to fill all of these up. You've got to be able to handle the media, and see the way he handled that after that United loss. You can't have a head loss like that if you're a United manager, because that's memed up forever. You've got to have some sort of personality. I don't think Thomas Frank's ticking that box. He's
quite eccentric. He's a little bit.
He's eccentric, but I don't know if it's personality. Can you handle being Manchester United manager? Like, it's almost an unfathomable amount of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like, you don't, like, managing Brentford's one thing. You lose and win week to week. No one actually gives a fuck. And even Brentford fans probably don't give a fuck. You come and manage Manchester United, you got millions of people around the world who not only give a fuck, but you've got a percentage of them are impatient as fuck. Some people want, like, that comment, that guy that before we appointed Ten Hag, I wanted him out. What? So you'll get that if you get Thomas Frank, there'll be people like don't want him to succeed before he even starts.
Just because he's not a flashy name. Correct. But you know what's funny? If you go back in June when I saw the candidates, I preferred Thomas Frank to the Poch. I did a tweet, the Zerbi, and I was like, people won't realise it, but he's actually one of the better options that have actually been mentioned.
Thomas Frank?
Yeah, because I did rate him as a manager, and I think he had the way his philosophy and his style and his kind of energy. I thought there was some sort of translatability to the United way.
I think what he got
is a step up.
Is kind of what Poch is missing, and what Poch has got is kind of what he's missing. Like, Poch is like personality, and like I think he can handle the pressure of being at a big club and this, that and the other, but I think he lacks like.
How do you know that Thomas Frank can't do that if he's not been?
You don't.
Just because the head loss is that. He's not proved it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it'd be a gamble. Any manager that comes into United, Ten Hag would have been a gamble.
Also, I've never heard. I don't know if I've ever really looked for it, to be brutally honest with you. But I've never actually heard of people talking about Thomas Frank's man management. They talk about his tactics. They talk about his system. Yeah, you can probably find 1,000 managers that have got a system and a tactics, but that being the personality to manage Manchester United, the egos involved, the media, the history, the way you get treated differently, the way everything's scrutinised. Like, we were Kenyan yesterday, and we was talking about that meeting that United had last week. Can you even tell me another club that had a meeting like that you heard about?
No, I haven't. Do you know something that caught my eye there? Fernandes says Ronaldo pining for Poch is hilarious. When have I pined for Poch? When have you heard that? You know about? I definitely didn't want Poch.
Where is he at the minute?
I don't know where he is. I don't want Poch as United gaffer. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know where he is at the minute.
I have no idea. He's unemployed, but I think it's one of them.
He is, I think he's actually working somewhere.
Is he working somewhere?
I'm pretty sure he's working somewhere. I'm sure I saw that.
Oh yeah, and I saw Alexis Bailey. He's giving me stick for saying in my lifetime I said Neymar other than Messi is probably the most naturally talented footballer that I've seen in my life. And he's criticised me for that, like it's an outlandish statement. That is not an outlandish statement. He said Ronaldinho.
Yeah, USA manager, yeah.
Oh, he's USA manager, which is... So... I think
that's a massive job, if he sticks around till the World Cup. If he's the manager of USA at the USA World Cup, that's actually massive.
And I think America are in a bit of an error as well, the US national team, where the men's team aren't actually that bad anymore. Do you know what I mean? I thought they were decent when they played against us a couple of years ago.
Do you know what I found out? I didn't know this was a thing. So you know that there's not really an academy system in America. It's the college system, it's the draft.
Yeah, I know that.
It's that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not the case anymore.
Have they changed it?
It's both. There is now an academy system in America. Do you know why?
Why? Because of Poch.
You lot get in the comments and see if you lot can guess why. Just why. Why is there now an academy system in America? And I'll give you 2 free guesses. See if you can get it. I'll read the super chats while you have a think.
Is it because... Okay, I'm going to have a think.
PDT says they just want a yes man. Clearly, we're fooked. There might be a bit of case of that. The Mr. Callum says, was Cantona's form this bad? Go back up and let me see that again. Or was it all in his head? Love hearing it about Cantona. No, Cantona's form was not this bad. It was bad. It was a dip from what Cantona delivered, but he's never been as bad as Bruno this season.
All right. I'm gonna say, is it looking towards the? Is it some way looking towards the World Cup?
Nope.
Is it something political?
PJ Trojan says because Diddy suggested it. Rude. No, not political. Because of the British football system, says Jake. Notch says Beckham. Jordan says going to Old Trafford for the first time on the 30th, hoping for a good match. 30th. Is that, who's that?
30th.
That's 2-3 weeks away. Is that Chelsea?
Yeah, no, that's 30th is that's Leicester, right?
Oh, in the cup.
Leicester.
Is it the FA Cup? EFL Cup.
Yeah, it's 30th. Leicester.
Oh, you might be in for one now. Let's go back on the comments.
Key thing is my job kind of to know that.
Wasn't Klinsmann manager recently? Not that recently, I don't think. It was because of David Beckham. So quite a lot of you in the comments got it, yeah. So Beckham rang the commissioner of the MLS and was like, this ain't going to work if you don't have an academy system. And now I think he said that 24 out of the 30 have got academies.
And you see how quickly and easy it is in America to do that, because they literally do. Does America have unlimited funds when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to sport?
So one of my mates is a coach at Houston Texans. So they have, I'm going to fuck the numbers up here, I think it's 50,000 kids. Something like that. Maybe in their greater network.
Houston Texans? An NFL team?
No, is it not them? What they call it? What are the Summit Texans? It's a soccer team.
Oh, it's a football team. I was going to say, because an NFL team wouldn't have kids.
No, but they are. I'm sure it's the Houston Texans.
No, Houston Texans, the NFL team, so it won't be.
Let me just check. I'm just going to Google it real quick.
Houston Dynamo. There it is. Houston Dynamo.
No, it's not them.
Hey, Timothy Hagen. Hey, Ron just joined. Don't know if you've spoken. Like, what do you think of Nelson Salik's situation?
It's the Texans Soccer Club.
Right, so the Texans.
Yeah, it is Houston Texans Soccer Club. Sorry, yeah. So he's it might be related to FC Dallas though. Yeah, I think they're sort of affiliated somehow to Dallas. The Dallas Texans. They're not, because the way it's at MLS is weird, isn't it? Like their academy team for Miami is like Fort Lauderdale FC, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it might be something along those lines. But anyway, yeah. So I'm pretty sure they've got 50,000 kids, right? And they all pay 125. This is 10 years ago actually, so it could even be different. $125 a month in subs. People pay 20, 30 here in England, and we go, why have they all got facilities and professional coaches? This is why. But if I brought out... Panic got junior teams. They pay 30, 35 quid, right? I think we have one team that plays Saturday and Sunday. So they pay 50 because there's extra cost of facilities and this, that and the other. But they're almost a net zero. They don't really make a profit. If we was like, hey, it's going to be 125 quid, you might get some parents that can afford that, but most of the parents of our kids would not be able to afford that. Like, oh, by the way, can you pay an extra 95 quid a month for your kids? But in America, they pay that. And that's why they have those absolutely outrageous facilities. That's why they have there's so many coaches. Jaden's coach, when he was at Droylsden, left Droylsden Juniors as a volunteer and went to America to coach a junior team.
Yeah, because they pay large amounts. Football is a working class sport in most countries,
but not America.
But in America, it's
a little bit middle class.
It's middle class. So I think, does you think that kind of affects the reason why, for example, the NBA and the NFL, they're so much better in that than it is to football, because I think there's a more their working class type of ground up, just go out on the street and play, is more basketball.
Yeah, they're not really like playing Kirby and fucking dodging traffic and stuff, playing football like we did.
Because everyone says America realistically should be a lot better at football than they are. And who knows, obviously, if they get in with this academy system.
I think the last 15, 20 years, it has become a bit more of a cultural thing. But you're right, it's probably a little bit middle class. But that still means you can develop kids. So I saw something about the American, was it the Olympic basketball team? And isn't there like 5 or 6 Nepo babies in there? It was like Shaq's kid, one of them. So they're like, these aren't street kids. Like, this fucker grew up a billionaire. So did he. Like, half of that team, I think you get in a lot of sports, you get into the stage now where if you're not paying for one-to-one tuition for your kid, they ain't fucking making it, mate. And it's sad, but I actually think that's a genuine reality of it now. You've got to get the reps in, and high-quality reps.
It is true, because I used it's the same reference for tennis. You know, when I had this conversation with you about tennis, right? Where
it's a rich kid sport.
Certainly in this country. It's a rich kid sport. It's a rich kid sport anywhere.
Commenters, can you help us out here? Because I know it's like quite big in places like Serbia and stuff like that. Is it still a rich kid sport in Serbia, or is there anywhere where
Russia is a massive
where tennis is a bit ghetto? Like, is there just like concrete tennis?
I don't know, because I think from reference, I think they said in the top 150 for like men and women, like literally probably 1 or 2 of them were anywhere near working class growing up.
Wow,
that's literally just how it is. So it's do you reckon golf's similar? Or
but golf's another one like tennis that you gotta go get that private tuition. You're not gonna do it by just like smashing a racket. It's an individual sport thing then. Yeah, but then you don't see people like. All right, you do see it, but you see it as like parents that are professional athletes in a certain sport, like a boxer. You'll see a boxer raising a 7 or 8-year-old boxer, getting one-to-one tuition. But you know, like Council Estate Manchester's not really paying for one-to-one tuition for a boxing coach. Send them to the local gym. That stinks. They get that. So probably not even at 7 and 8 though. They have to find their own way probably at 12, 13 when things gone a bit west.
I'm interested to see what happens then with America in the next 10 years with this change of like getting a grassroots academy system. And obviously they'll probably see what happens on the back of them hosting a World Cup as well. They've been slowly improving in recent years. Anyway, I think they've got quite a lot of players in the Premier League and the Championship now as well.
America.
Obviously they're LeBron James of football, as they described it, because they're so insular. Pulisic. Just because he was the best.
That's the only thing that they can bring to like make anyone give a fuck.
Yeah.
They can't just say, "Oh, this player's really good." Well, how good is he? Oh, he might be like in the top 400 in the world. That's pretty good.
It was typical American fashion of thinking, Pulisic is our best footballer, and because we're America and we have this kind of, you know what their thought is, they're best at everything, or he must be the best
USA,
player in the world.
USA, maybe, number 1.
Do you know what I mean? He must be the best player in the world. But now I think they got Tyler Adams as well. I think did they draw against us in the World Cup? I think it was 1-1. Was it the Qatar? It was 1-1, wasn't it?
With England. Yeah, it was a snooze fest. There was a lot of people sat behind me dressed like George Washington as well. By the way, that
0-0. It was 0-0.
That was an unreal stadium. That was the I can't remember the name of it now. It was the one that was out in the sticks that I had to get a fucking Uber to. It took about an hour and a half to get to, and the Uber still cost like a tenner. Like literally, Ubers out there cost £1. It was amazing. No matter where you were going, it was £1. And then you get to it. It's the one that's like a massive big Bedouin tent. But on the inside, it's like an 80,000 seater, like unbelievable arena. I ended up going there like 3 times. I was wounded. I wanted to see all the different stadiums. Fucking back at this one again. But yeah, snooze fest that.
Yeah, you said it was 0-0, snooze fest, and the best part about it was you. I don't know if you vlogged it, but you're doing your American accent, which you're obviously not going to do now. Is that? have you?
I did vlog it. Yeah, it's on one of my World Cup vlogs actually. Yeah.
Wait, have you? On the Fergie thing, because it is XG files, so sometimes we do get our tin full hat on a little bit. And some people say there might be some further reasoning for the fact that Fergie was paid as much as he was over the past decade. and they believe it might have to do with his link to the Glazers. And some people even allude to it being partial hush money.
I haven't seen Cantona's post to allude to the super chat, but do you know, the club can't afford it, man. But you just had to get rid of 250 staff. Like, what would 2 million do to the women's team? Probably fund it, right? Probably stop you losing players like Mary Earp and people like that you've lost recently.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for a guy that's retired. You paid him 25 mil since he retired. I think you can go, nice one.
No,
And you actually retire now.
I think a lot of that money is going to be getting passed down as well. I think I think his bank's looking healthy without little to anything to spend it on. I think his mortgage is probably paid off.
Fergie's old school, right? And you can take that however way you want to take it. But, like, he did all right. Let's put it that way. He did all right. Let's hope that there's no investigations the way there is into City. Historical ones, because it's not looking good, bruv. There's all sorts of things.
Yeah, Ridwan says Anthony makes 2 million in 10 weeks. He does what?
No, that's valid. Yeah,
that's
totally valid. Yeah, it's totally valid. Yeah, it is. The club are wasting money, and it is what it is. Max Gomez super chat should hear. Scroll down again for us, please, Jay. Should hear the argument people have with those who say NBA champions are world champions. This has been debunked to death, man. Like, I know that they've won the Olympics. The Olympics is not the World Championships; it's the Olympic Championships, and there's a lot of people from other nations in there. And by the way, they're winning these Olympics, but they're close games. They're not absolutely dicking people like you would assume.
And you know what's the most hilarious thing about the NBA right now? I'd say top 3 players,
not American,
are non-American.
Aren't they all Serbian?
No. The top 3 players in the NBA now are Luka Doncic.
He sounds Serbian.
Nikola Jokic.
He sounds Serbian.
And Giannis Antetokounmpo. And
he doesn't sound Serbian.
And then you've even got thingy that's in the top 5, Joel Embiid, and he's from Cameroon. He's French, Cameroon. And then you've got Giannis is Greek.
So that's the top 5.
Giannis is Greek. Jokic is Serbian, and then you've got Luka Doncic, who's Slovenian. So I think that's the funniest thing about the NBA right now. And you know what's mad? The way that the rhetoric is about these players is you can tell that the media isn't totally happy with the fact that they've got this European kind of
Steph Curry,
or LeBron James,
Jordan, whatever, wouldn't they?
That's why Anthony Edwards, who's this next up and coming player, he's going to probably get the push because they're desperate for that American face to be the face of the league. They don't want the face of the league being European players, and that's what it's gone towards. But I just find
that's interesting.
Funny.
So obviously I know nothing about NBA. I watched The Last Dance 15 times, and that's about as deep as my knowledge goes. So anything past 96, I'm a bit screwed on. But has the game changed? Is the game favouring a more European style or a more European individual, or is it just a coincidence and just a phase?
I think it might just be a phase or just a coincidence, or I don't know. Maybe the way the league is getting now, there's always an argument that basketball in Europe has a different kind of tactical aspect to it. And then sometimes there's a lot of good players that are good enough to play in the NBA and do really well, that stay in Europe, because I think the Spanish league is pretty good anyway. I think that's the second best league in the world. Barcelona, Real Madrid, etc. Which Luka Doncic was playing for at the age of 15 and 16 and being like the MVP. That's how he's gone there, and then he's looking like a certified Hall of Famer already. But I don't know. I think it's just a coincidence. But Corey Lineker says, I love both of you lads, but you're getting almost every part of this NBA discussion completely wrong. That's not the case.
I'm saying I'm an expert.
I'm going to sit here and say I've watched the NBA pretty intently for the last 7-8 years, so I do know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to lie.
What sport do you reckon? Well, what sport creates the best athletes? And I'll qualify that because I know Americans want to just say football because they're biggest.
I was going to say American football.
But if you ask one of them guys to run a marathon, they're not going to be able to do it.
No.
Ooh. So which athletes are the ones that could take to the most sports? I think football's quite up there because they're generally very athletic. They'll have good fast twitch, good tactical knowledge. I think football is an easy sort of vibe.
So you think soccer players?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think it is. But I think they'd be.
To say it in an American way, football player.
I don't think they're the number one.
People are saying rugby.
I think rugby league.
Rugby league's a good shout, you know. Thing is, I think I think footballers might be a bit on the small side.
If you said so if you looked at all of the major sports, and I'll include like hockey and stuff into that, ice hockey. Now, obviously, you're gonna have the technical. Can you even skate? That's a factor, right? But if you said, right, I'm gonna take all of the sort of main sports, give them a 100-meter race, give them a swim, give them a marathon, give them all of the other sports to play.
So a triathlete then?
No, because I'm including sports. So
how do you know this triathlete's not good at football?
They might be, but they're going to get snapped in half at American football. Or they're going to get
What if he's a 6'2"? I don't know. It's a good question. I think basketballers are up there, man.
Yeah, that's you got to be strong
because they're fit as fuck.
Serious
agility,
cardio.
Their cardio is really good,
but it's not a physical game in the sort of like collisions. And I think that's what elevates rugby because people are.
It's weird basketball gets called as non-contact because it is.
There is contact, but
there's a lot of contact in basketball.
It's not rugby level, is it?
Nah.
And if you want to get weird and throw like GAA and like Aussie rules in there, yep, them guys get in there as well because they're the same build as rugby league players. So I think the same level of fitness.
That's Alex Carey's
wrestling or MMA. I think. Yes, they've got technical aspects that are really good, but I don't know if they've got the long distance running.
Yeah.
And I think rugby, you get that long distance.
Alex Carey 9 says rugby is too stop-start. Cardio won't be up there with a footballer.
That's rugby union, not rugby league.
Rugby union, maybe. Rugby league looks very tiring. I'm not gonna lie. Sevens looks tiring as well.
Rugby league is a bleep test with a bar fight in the middle.
What about sevens then? A lot of distance to cover.
It's very quick. Yeah, it's very quick, but there's not a lot of collisions. It's just so fast because people are just breaking.
You played sevens?
Played last year?
Yeah.
No, played this year, actually. Tore my hamstring. But that was the problem, is like, it was like £40 ago. So someone would get any sort of distance past me and was gone. If you ran at me, I'm going to fucking bend you in half. But
because I think basketball is good to shout because you're not talking about aggression, but even you talk about them doing something like they've got like a lot of them some like the slender physique and the length to do swimming, but
they're only slender because we look at them and they're 6'9". They're not slender, but if you looked at them, you'd be like, fucking size on that fucker. Yeah.
But then obviously they can jump high, so then they could probably play volleyball pretty well whilst being tall.
They're probably quick.
Actually, that says something. I don't know if anyone knows this, but I can't remember his name, but there was a white basketball player that used to play for the OKC Thunder back in the day, and he was a bit of a
Adam Sandler.
Nah, I can't remember. But he's now a professional volleyball player, and he went to the Olympics to do it. And I saw the report because he linked up with the US team. Was like, catching up with him, how he's used to be a professional NBA player and now he's a professional volleyball player later in his career. That showed the translatability of being 6'8", jumping really high and being athletic, so then he could just do volleyball pretty easily.
Zokar says small forwards in basketball are like 6'6", 220. Probably the ideal build for most. Yeah, I could roll with that. That's a very athletic, physically imposing individual. Because you put them at centre half at football, that's a problem. You put them in a back row in rugby, that's a problem. They can probably sprint, that's a problem. Like, that's a powerful dude. Have they got the longevity? Would that be too big to run a marathon?
Probably. Chase Budinger, yeah, that's his name. That is his name, but basket, because someone like Russell Westbrook, I'd say he's like 210, 215, 6'4", maybe 6'5", and he's probably the most athletic, pound for pound athletic player I've seen. Now, I can't say outside of LeBron James, because LeBron James is just a one of one. I don't think there'll ever be someone like him.
Ridwan says rock climbers are basically the real life Assassin's Creed. Can they run though?
I don't know.
I mean, the ability to hold yourself by your fingertips is obviously a hell of a skill.
I think there's never going to be a correct answer for this.
No, because, well, did you ever watch that Physical 100 that they did in South Korea? It was on Netflix.
Yes. The 100, oh yeah, I've seen it.
So that had like firemen, police officers, soldiers, MMA fighters, gymnasts.
All body types. men, women,
sumo wrestlers.
Sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, that's what this is, isn't it? I mean, but the tests were quite. I mean, it started with the obvious one that they were going to do. They started it with like hanging everyone by a crane off a pool, over a pool, so that's 50% dealt with. You're not like I would like to have seen some sort of scoring system where you give all 100 of them sports and other activities and strength activities and stuff like that to find out, because you could tell like the idea of this is to get from 100 to 1. So there's going to be loads of stuff that just eliminates people. So it's not really finding, like you might have had a weak grip but smashed everything else, but it doesn't matter because you went in the first round.
Yeah. See, you think it should be a thing where all 100 should be able to do like the first 4?
No, I think you do all of them, and like if it was science, you would do all of them and compare. But it was a game show, so they got to get rid of half of you straight away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's shit. That.
Declan says snooker players,
but their argument would just be tough. We're trying to see who's good at everything.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you flip it, you did it the other way around. You might get totally different results.
Yeah. There was a question you got the other day on Q&A, and I can't remember it, and they wanted us to speak about it on XG Files. It was something conspiracy based, but because I even tweeted something yesterday. I was watching something about neuroscience, which it's dead nerdy, but it was just a guy answering questions about emotions as a neuroscientist. I can't remember what his name was, and it was something about, he said that stress physically shrinks your brain.
Wow.
And he said, but it also shrinks the area of your brain that grows brain cells. So you've obviously shrunk your brain, and then you shrunk in the area that actually helps you develop and grow brain cells as well. So don't stress people, otherwise your brain, or don't be a United fan, because by the end of the season your brain might be the size of a pea, based on neuroscience.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But then it's interesting, isn't it, to see like how did humans evolve all sorts of different technologies, because you think that there has to be a level of luxury to force the innovation, because people are thinking about stuff. If it all goes tits up, you ain't thinking about inventing robots. You're thinking about, am I going to eat today? Like you have to go through your like hierarchy of needs, don't you? Have I got water? Have I got somewhere to sleep? And for 250,000 years of human evolution, most of the time was like, I need to not get eaten by that tiger today. That's today's job. And if I can get some food on the way, sweet. You wasn't really thinking about building a Tesla.
Does that not make it's true? Does that not make you feel, from a mental standpoint, of where life could be and where the human race could be in 200 years, and it'd just be completely different from now? And now 200 years is probably not long enough. Probably have to be a lot longer, because
10 to 15,000 years, maybe.
Because Finn yesterday came in and he told us, he said, did you know that humans used to be nocturnal? And I was like, no, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said they used to be nocturnal. Our eyes used to be different, obviously. And what kind of evolution-wise made us move away from being nocturnal was the discovery of fire. This is what, I don't know, I didn't fact check it. You can let me know in the comments. I know people in the comments will know a lot more than me, but this is what, I just took his word for it. And he said, obviously, stuff messing up our circadian rhythm. But back in the day, years and years and years and years ago, in early days of humanity, we used to be nocturnal, apparently. And then the discovery of fire kind of actually started
There's something called, I think it's called the aquatic ape theory, which is that whatever our common ancestor was with like chimps and gorillas and stuff like that, they think one of the reasons why humans evolved the way they did, and why our brain, like the human brain, doubled in like a really, really, really short period of time, and I don't think they still don't know why. But one of the theories that they've got is, and why we became bipedal rather than walking around on all fours like chimps do, is because we ended up wading in rivers. So we was going into rivers, we was eating fish, and that's one of the reasons why humans developed this sort of upright thingy, and the omegas in the fish sort of like forced the brain development as well. You just think, what a mad little fork of evolution that is. So if someone's great granddad didn't fancy a bit of fish, we're still fucking about in trees.
So basically, what we found out is people that supposedly have bad posture just have the correct one.
No,
is what we're saying.
No.
People that have slightly hunched over like that.
Probably a million years ago, human evolution changed because of some of our common ancestors eating fish. That is one of the theories. There's more to it than that, but yeah.
I know we've gone from that to now there being these robots that have come out with Elon Musk and Tesla. How far away is this from being? Because I know they've kind of brought them up, but them actually coming into existence or being on the market probably like 40, 50 years away, surely.
No. With our quick Tesla move and Elon Musk moves, they'll be the hot ticket for Christmas 2026, I imagine.
I'm not. Did you also see that?
The guy sent fucking 4,000 satellites into space. He's going to have them on pre-order soon.
Didn't he copy the exact same designs as
I saw that iRobot
I saw
director
that.
come out and say he's copied me. I'm like, brother, the fact he's copied the design of the robots isn't the problem. It's the robots that are the problem. When they start being like, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do that? When they start arresting you, that's when the problem is. When you start getting pulled over by a robot, that's when shit goes west. That's when I become Will Smith in that film and be like, don't trust them. No, get to the woods. Fuck that noise.
When robots start putting you in citizen arrest.
Yeah.
Get you in a grip like that.
And let's be honest, you ain't running away from a robot. And he's got you. And they'll be recording everything. And they'll GPS for backup. And then 2 more robots will come and get you. It'll be a fully automated robot system. This is bad news, man. This is Skynet.
It's crazy the influence of...
What year was Terminator 2 set? Feels like it's like we are absolutely screaming into being in that film.
But, all right, so money rules the world. We all know that, but this growing influence that Elon Musk has on the world is quite scary. Do you not think? Him
2029. Oh, it's coming. It's 5 years away. There you go. In the next 5 years, Elon Musk robots come, they turn evil, AI takes over them, and then we have to go underground and start killing them, and then we have to send some absolutely jack-looking geezer back to 1995, 1984, whenever it was meant to be that we sent him back to.
Can we go back to the comments,
fucking
please?
Christ.
This will only be for definite if there has been a Simpsons episode on it. I need to check that first. If the Simpsons have had an episode on this, then I know
there is no way right now. Jaden, I want you to Google Simpsons episode robots. And I bet there's 50. There's 50.
No, because, all right, so first he buys Twitter, and then he's completely changed the app, and then his tweets are literally... Do you know, because he's very involved in his politics as well. Isn't that a bit of a mad thing as well?
Yeah, because he's so influential with the fact that he basically runs the biggest social media network.
Yes.
The most influential social media network.
It's too easy for him to push his agendas, isn't it? And
his agendas are quite obvious. He's not very sly with them.
No, he's very open.
It's clearly obvious. But it's also stuff
this
like...
This is my app, you can just say.
Yeah, but it's things like he supports different policies over others because that gets Starlink used and stuff like that.
Oh, fuck.
Them robot, here we go, 2012, what does it say? The Simpsons go from 1989 to 2012 with each odd year having something happening, mainly people... What's the rest of the...
Yeah, I don't know why Violet... That didn't really give us so much of a synopsis on what it was about. There we go.
Mr. Burns replaces Springfield power plant employees with robots. Oh my God, yes! But plans to keep Homer as the sole human worker. Unemployment's at an all-time high. Mechanical arms operate in the workplace. Springfield becomes dismal and a humorless place. But when Homer's machine program peers start to turn on the communities, former real-life employees come out to the rescue, and they all realise that robots can't replace human friends. Episodes of parody of the movie iRobot. Right, so there you go. Simpsons did it. Just fucking hunker down and start stacking up your tins of beans. It's about to go west, our kid.
Nothing we can do about that, though. Do you know what? If it comes to it, it comes to it. I know where I'm finding anyway.
We need to see a documentary of Chris Eubank in space. Jesus. They started with the Jetsons. Zokar says, aliens aren't ready for the Tesla robot. Luke says, is this why we still Anthony says, if AI deems the robots are unnecessary, then it will just shut them down itself. Alex says, Simpsons predicting the future is scary accurate too. I think they've just had that many episodes over that many years that they've had to imagine as many different things happening, and it's just, you can always find something that they've spoken about, I think. But yeah, crazy.
Another Jetson was set in 2062. Do you know what? This might sound really, really selfish, but as long as all this shit happens post my lifetime,
yeah, it ain't. It's the next 5 years.
Then I don't
Unless
mind.
you're about to call it a day by weekend, it's the next 5 years, and I don't think that's going to be good.
I don't reckon. Do you? Because you're actually starting to scare me a bit now. I'm not gonna lie, because I did when I saw it on Twitter and I saw these robots moving, and I just was like, "There's so much that can go wrong here."
Didn't Elon Musk even joke like Skynet's coming?
But
it's not funny when you're the one bringing it here, you dickhead.
But in reality, could it be true that
we should just let him buy you now?
These robots realistically are all very flimsy, and if they did act up, we could probably just one hammer it with a hammer and it'll just break. Probably. It's an electrical. I think in reality that should be the case, really.
Right. Phones are now waterproof. You can't even drown it.
I'm not talking about drowning. I'm talking about smashing it over the head with a baseball bat.
So when they make them out of ceramic, and your baseball bat bends in half around it, and it goes.
Now I'm not.
Citizens arrest.
I'm not
initiated.
I'm not having.
Fucking judo flips you through the floor and cuffs you with some fucking bullshit that it had already in its arms.
I'm not having this. There's no way. But to be fair,
and then you're shouting all sorts of mad tinfoil hat things as you're getting carted off.
But we're all worrying about something that none of us. I don't know the financial situation of people watching, but I don't think many of us will be able to afford them anyway.
Are you mad? People can't afford anything. They drip it up. I guarantee the brokest guy will be like, got a new robot.
How?
Because he'll drip it up. He'll be like, got it on finance, 25 years. He'll be like, you live with your mum.
No, we wouldn't. Nah.
And my robot.
Finance. The APR is probably like 70%.
You know people that'll do it. I know people that'll do it. There'll be people that'll be
I know people that work in finance.
Your kid's on fucking hand-me-down shoes and you bought a fucking robot. What are you doing?
Yeah, my boy Emil, he has a car financing company. You got people that work in places that can help you out, but I'm not sure how much help they're going to be with one of a Tesla robot.
People are going to teach them robots, right? People are going to like Hackintosh them robots, jailbreak them robots, and them robots are going to be committing burglaries. You know it and I know it.
Someone said PlayStations are expensive and people have them. That's a PlayStation 5 is 500 quid, 400 quid. They're talking about these robots costing 40, 50 grand. Do you know what I mean?
And Disco Stew says Timo robots. There you go. You get one for 1,200 quid on Timo.
That's the thing.
Yes, it's going to spy on you for China, but you will get it for 1,200 notes.
Oi robot, go make me a coffee, is what you're going to be saying to it.
Yeah.
I'll just be waiting for that one day you say that. Oi robot, go make me a coffee, and he says no.
And he goes, please, and then just blush you through a wall. Nah.
Declan Laird, you says cheaper than a wife. If you're going where I feel like you're trying to go with that, you need your...
You know people will fuck these robots.
Yes,
you
I think
fucking
they will.
People fuck cars. They're fucking weird. Like, if you can think of it, someone's done it. There's a guy right now thinking about, can I order double D titties on my robot? A fucking 1,000,000% there is.
It's like Skynet equals fleshlight. I was going to say... Someone's going to work out how they can connect it.
Alexa and Siri reply to you in different voices. Are you telling me someone's not going to download the extra $9.99 pack of sexy voice? So when you're like, make me a coffee, it's like, sure, champ. Like, of course course they are, right? Of course they are.
Look at Alex. Alex goes, does it vibrate?
Do you know what I mean? Like, people are fucking absolute savages.
Okay,
Someone's going to fuck that robot. And that's going to be the thing, he's like clocking your mate fucking his robot. Like 1,000,000% that he's dripped up on.
Yeah, people are going to get really
Can't bang it before you even finish paying for it. That's fucking rude.
That's true. Court Sar says robots from Temu.
Yeah.
I reckon Tesla will have robots and then within 1.5 years,
Android versions.
China would have made a version of it that cost you a $1.
Yeah, it's going to cost you
Know
a
what I mean?
bag or something like that instead of 40. And it's going to absolutely spy on you. And it's going to be the first thing that turns on you as soon as World War III happens with China.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just going to have literally allowed a Chinese agent in your house.
Damn. Oh, yeah, by the way, sorry to talk about football. It's been confirmed now. Exclusive Thomas Tuchel
Oh, well, there you go.
has agreed to become the New England manager after
Thumbnail
concluding deal with the
suddenly
Thumbnail
becomes semi-relevant.
Association. Okay, now. That's all right, innit? We've got our manager anyway.
Thomas Tuchel, England manager then. Interesting.
To be fair, Thomas Tuchel wasn't someone that I was up there about. I wanted us to get... We weren't going the route to pick Ten Hag, who was an ascending manager.
We might have been blagged here because people are saying not confirmed.
Oh, we've been blagged?
Hey, tell you what, won't be the last time.
Next step, off a lab name, Mike's Bennett Dyson. I want Nagelsmann. I think Nagelsmann seems appreciated by us, but he's staying until after the American World Cup, apparently.
Yeah.
With Germany, so that's not an option. I was a Thiago Motta guy, but he's cooking up something serious at Juve at the moment, so I think he won't be coming anywhere anytime soon.
Right, anyway, let's wrap it up. Take it easy, everybody.
And stay safe.
Yeah, and don't buy a robot.
Don't buy robots.
And don't buy it on finance for sure. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.